Get the bag. Get the bag. Y'all niggas know what it is. You know we get the bag.
I've learned in life, sometimes when it comes to passing information to some individuals, you can't always tell them. You can't even always show them. Sometimes they just have to see things for themselves, because a lot of people won't believe it till they live it themselves. Now, clearly, it's no surprise. I believe that everything we see going on with Robert Kelly is a mere cover-up. And even for those people that still believe there is some guilt in his actions, you should be still asking a lot of questions that go overlooked. Like, for example, how all these people bypass the CIA affiliations with other people's case, FBI corruption in other people's case, and how the media blindly follows certain stories while covering up others. And then you realize it's all about associations. But it's funny how the government will take some associates and criminalize it, but others, it's okay. Like how a lot of these celebrities who don't like Robert Kelly's lifestyle engage in the same activities, the same things this man was convicted of, including this flued out lifestyle encouraged by shows like Love and Hip Hop. Take a good look at all these men and their feelings about the accusations, and think about all the things that you've observed throughout this time period. Think about all these associates who were around this man, benefited from this man, even up until his incarceration day, trying to plant these seeds for biopics so that they can come up. Never mind the destructive behaviors and lifestyles they're feeding to young people watching this, including all this glowed up fake ass body enhancements that have these celebrities losing their damn minds and putting their lives on the lines for cosmetic features. With all that said, it's unfortunate that people just can't come out here and promote their brand without feeling the need to troll, bully, harass, and misuse platforms given to them in order to spread awareness for given topics. So with that said, I want to ask a question to you. Looking at this whole Cardi B and Tasha K situation, I feel like, just like I feel about the Mute R. Kelly people, a lot of people want to target the wrong individuals, including Cardi B. Now, everybody with some common sense knows why Tasha K formats her content the way she does, including these celebrities, including Cardi B. So with that being said, instead of engaging and going back and forth with this blogger, I feel like legal actions should have been taken towards this corporation who has all these community guidelines and standards. However, there's so many loopholes for these stupid ass people on the internet to continue to provoke people, then run to the police and the FBI and do all that police ass shit on the internet. Then bring they goofy ass out here and incriminate themselves and say some stupid ass shit like, who snitched on me? These people working for the police, because they don't know how to shut the fuck up. In the South, we hear this too many times when it comes to the law. You have the right to remain silent. When I see all these agents and other goofballs using these platforms for malicious purpose, these corporations should be held accountable. The same way the White House brought in Facebook to answer for some of their privacy violations going on their platform. It's accountability. But even when I brought that fact alone to the general public, more people were being entertained by stupid ass beefs that have nothing to do with nothing, because they're too slow to realize conquer and divide has been a tactic used since way in the beginning. Even in the time of Adam and Eve, who was corrupted first? If you go down the history books, you will see that women have always been used to corrupt men. Are we going to continue to let the history be written by corrupted winners? Isn't that what they say? History is written by the winners. So what happens to all the information that's not on the winning side? Oh, we know what happens. So with that being said, people seem to be confused as to what they want. They want to sympathize with Tasha K, knowing her intent is only to produce content that's going to give her ratings. And that means if that is engaging back and forth with celebrities, beefing to get reactions, trolling, she has no problem doing that. My thing is, right is right, wrong is wrong. When you go too far, admit your guilt and move on. Not run to the FBI, not try to keep helping people manufacture fake ass RICOs because you don't like a person, and most importantly, not keep pushing fake ass stories that you know are fake just to get your ratings up, and then try to clean up your image like somebody gives a fuck. So to wrap up my thoughts on the Tasha K Cardi B lawsuit and why I feel like she should sue YouTube and hold them accountable for allowing malicious content creators like Tasha K to run rapid when you should be able to report these videos the same way people report my shit and have it removed. But for some strange reason, YouTube is more focused on restricting people's content who speak on true core issues that they deem to be controversial, while they allow people to manipulate their policies. And then the first thing these fake ass woke people want to come to the internet talking about is why people don't do this, why people don't do that. Maybe a lot of people fail to realize that due to mass incarceration and stuff like that, there's a lot of people who have still been stuck in the oppressive state of mind and don't realize there's so many opportunities being wasted beefing with people they don't know on the internet over stupid shit. But hey, maybe some of these people are starting to feel just like these celebrities who endorse these janky ass politicians and their bullshit ass agendas as they continue to watch all their plans go left.
All of this, you're going to see this in future testimony, but Azrael knows where everything is. When I say the tape, she knows who's who. She knows where the bank accounts are, where the money is. She knows who's using who. Not seen what we've been trying to show you, that you've been brainwashed. But once she watched that documentary and she read the emails that I sent over to her, that he was sending to Joycelyn, telling Joycelyn the same things that he told her, hiding other tapes for Azrael, just like London on the Track's mom was doing, Cheryl, I forgot her last name, Cheryl Mack or whatever. And so I'm trying to tell you without telling you too much, because like I said, this is a federal case, and I've even helped out the feds with all the information that I've been given. So I was working with the Department, was it the Department of State? Homeland Security, one of them damn please. Homeland Security, my lawyers were to hand them over everything that we had received.
The receipts are checking out, but if all the receipts are checking out that I'm going to put out, R. Kelly may be innocent. Yeah. So much so, I took down the video that I did on the so-called enablers, because I got that information from Angelo, Tim Savage, Cash Jones. Who else? Who else gave me that information? It was so many people. Lisa Van Allen. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so bad.
Count one, she was found guilty. That's conspiracy to entice minors to travel in order to engage in illegal sex acts. On count 2, she was found not guilty. That was enticement of a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. Count 3, guilty, conspiracy to transport minors with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. Count 4, guilty, transportation of a minor with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. Count 5, guilty, sex trafficking conspiracy. Count 6, guilty, sex trafficking of children or by force, fraud, or coercion.
It's interesting how ignorant these people seem to think we all are. Like, for example, how everybody is so fixated on Robert Kelly and his first trial, but bypass how this Epstein situation could have been handled way back then, instead of giving him this sweetheart deal because he's an alleged CIA agent, and continue to do the same thing even while he was incarcerated. Think about all those people that got caught up in his new scandal, who then went along with this whole Me Too agenda, who then tried to divert attention promoting this Black Lives Matter, and then even in the election tried so hard to convince you that Trump is a racist. Now granted, if that's how you feel about Trump, that's your prerogative. However, to make that a sole argument as to why a person should be president is just like so many colored folks who relied on the good old first black president that they gave you and bypassed the real history of the first black president just because they wanted to sell you a dream. Just like this new administration just wants to give out all these people these crack pipes for racial equality. But that should say a lot when the people in office obviously didn't want us all integrated in the first place. See, you can run that race baiting, this person is a racist bullshit to people who haven't been discriminated against, who doesn't live this shit on a daily basis every fucking day, who can't go down to the courthouse and see exactly the same things that were set up 60, 70 years ago. Oops, minus the whites only signs. And this ain't a race bait type of situation. This is the fucking truth that a lot of people want to tiptoe around, and why all this propaganda don't work on real people. You know something else interesting? I noticed Miss Ghislaine Maxwell, she was not charged with this Mann Act that was put on Robert Kelly. And for that much, you notice all these celebrities lately talking about all these threesomes, all these women they flew out, etc., in the midst of this man being convicted of that same thing. So I sit here and I watch these clowns on the internet and I laugh, because how am I going to take serious people with their opinions, and they can't even fully explain to you why Robert Kelly was convicted and how this is the precedence that shows you the ultimate corruption that goes down behind closed doors that they put right in your damn face. Maybe they felt Robert Kelly was an easy target, but I told you long time ago, he was not going to be the only celebrity affected by this whole agenda, and that's a fact, period. So just like those that want to continue to justify Tasha K's poor behavior because they want to sympathize with her as a black woman, that's their prerogative too. But when it comes to people talking about accountability and all this stuff, we have to look at individuals who are liable for certain actions. Same thing with all these criminal cases and all these manufactured RICOs that we're seeing play out via social media, and how certain individuals slide to the back and put all the focus on others. Like how Jim Derogatis and all his stories made it to Tasha K's platform, but people want to give Tasha K the credit in breaking this story. People want to believe so bad this marriage happened and bypass this uncle still being his manager for 5 years after the fact, and then continue to bypass the obvious corruption with this evidence in the Chicago case. So with all that being said, if you can't understand my content by now and how I clearly explained to people long ago that it's a broad topic that focuses on what's going on with Robert Kelly but can be applied to any given celebrity. But because people came out here and spent all these narratives and even made people feel bad in asking genuine questions, nobody wants to hit the main points. And that is, whether you believe Robert Kelly is guilty or innocent, if you claim that you're for justice, if you have all these fake-ass nonprofits collecting government assistance to help the community, you need to get up off your ass and figure out what you're going to do about all these things that have been covered up right in your face, instead of worried about my point of view. Meanwhile, so many girls, young and old, men, young and old, are still coming up missing, are still being wrongfully prosecuted, while the black community turns a blind eye. How many colored people do you know that have been accused of crimes, and the first thing people want to do is side with the law officials as though they are perfect individuals who don't have their own agendas, who cannot lie, when we all know the history behind these fraternal orders. And if you think any house built on corruption is going to stand, let me be the one to tell you it's not. The foundation is corrupt. That means it's going to be corrupt until it's completely demolished and restarted. When has that happened? I'll wait.
Get the bag. Get the bag. Y'all niggas know what it is. You know we get the bag. The bag, the bag. And you know we get the bag. The bag, the bag. And you know I gets the bag. The bag, the bag. We get the bag. The bag, the bag. Too big. Look at the whip. Look at the whip. Check out the wrist. Check out the wrist. Walk in the club. Walk in the club. Already lit. Already lit. Got niggas on wait. Hold up. Hold up. Got bitches on go. Come on. Come on. Got perp out a pound. Perp out a pound. So you know we gon' blow. You know we gon' blow. She throwing pussy, so I'm throwing money. Bend it over, now she putting it on me. Left a man to come to VIP. Nigga looking like he wanna run up on me. Nah. Just in case 100,000 on me. Yeah. One for calling, that's 100 homies. Yeah. 20 bitches out the club and take them to the crib and in the whole party there. And you know we get the bag. No go